Team Sorcerers here, and I thought I'd recreate a video that I did on my own channel way back in the summer of excuse me, 2014. I was thinking about doing it on my channel, but I thought I'd do it on this channel. Since I thought I'd put like sort of generic Yu-Gi-Oh discussions on here and give you guys more content on this channel. So yeah, let's start off with a question. Do you hate losing, or do you hate the way you lose games of Yu-Gi-Oh? Like, for me, I think it's foolish, to just hate losing in general, because it's just a game. Like, that's all it is, just a game. With every winner there has to be a loser. That's the way it goes sometimes. Whereas for me personally, there are 8 different ways that I hate losing. And it's like I said before, like it doesn't matter to me if I win or lose my games. It is what it is. As long as I have a chance to actually play the game, show what my decks can do, have a chance to do something, that's all I care about. But yeah, there are ways that I just absolutely hate losing. And there isn't a particular order, but the ways I hate losing are being OTK'd or FTK'd, having my deck locked down, bricking, misplaying, getting done in by end of match procedure, being burnt out by a cheap burn card, getting decked out, and worst of all, getting gamed by my own Dark Magician. But yeah, we'll get to that shortly. So yeah, getting OTK'd, like, as I've said many times, I hate OTK and FTK decks of any kind. They just suck all the fun, life and joy out of the game. Now, while I do agree that if you see an opportunity to win the duel, you should go for it and not waste any time, what I have a problem with is decks that are designed to basically make it so that that situation always happens, if that makes sense. Like, I just don't know how anyone can enjoy playing a deck like that and just ending the duel before it's even started. Like, I think it's even worse when, like, they take a while, do a million things, and then just end the duel right there and then with multiple attacks. Right? It just sucks all the fun, life and joy out of the game, and it's like, oh, what? That's not fair. I didn't even get to play. I didn't have a chance to do anything. There's just too many decks like that in the game now, and it's one of the reasons why I stopped playing in tournaments. I mean, yeah, I know I kind of win too easily that way whenever I play my Cyberse and Galaxy Photon deck, but if it's any consolation, like, that's basically why I kind of got bored of them. I'm thinking of parting with my Cyberse deck, unless of course the new support allows it to do something else other than rush access code talker. Although access code talker's the best link 4 in the game and it makes Cyberse good, it's just not fun rushing it. It's like, want to do something else with this deck, but too many situations just call for it. Anyway, but yeah, that's not me playing an OTK deck though, that's just taking an opportunity to win the duel. You know, believe it or not, there is a big difference. Yeah, OTK and FTK decks just aren't nice. Like, I just don't like getting gamed before I've had a chance to play. Mind you, lockdown decks are no better, whether it's considered control or stun, which brings me to the next way I hate losing. Having my deck locked down by a board of negates, or floodgates, or disruptions, or any 2 or 3 of those, so that I can't do anything at all. Like, and you know, that's just not fair. Like, and there's also too many decks in the game that do that. Just decks that do any of these 3 things just make the game stale. Like, and it's also a reason why I stopped playing in tournaments. I'm just fed up of these sorts of decks and just don't want to deal with them anymore. Like, they just make me feel powerless. It's like, what the hell do I do? I can't do jack shit to break this board. And yeah, there are ways around a board of negates, floodgates and disruptions, but again, there's no guarantee you'll draw into these outs, no matter how many you have, nor does it justify the existence of degenerate bullshit that just doesn't let you play. I just don't like being in a position where I can't do anything. It's like, this isn't even a game, this is just grade A bullshit, and I've just been reduced to a spectator. Again, I just don't know how anyone can enjoy playing decks that say you can't play Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, and I could rant about lockdown, OTK and FTK decks till the cows come home, but I need to move the video on. The other way, of course, that I hate losing is bricking. Then again, I'm sure everyone hates bricking, but it just frustrates me so much. It's like, if I brick, I feel like I've basically been locked down. And again, I'm just put in a position where I can't play. And it's just so frustrating. Like, especially if I brick with any of my absolute favourite decks, especially Dark Magician. It's just so annoying, and again, it's like, I didn't get to play, and I've had good runs in tournaments where I've gone undefeated, or near enough undefeated, and then I just brick when it really counts. Like, there's been a locals and a Fortune Tour qualifier where I made top 4 and only lost because I bricked. And then, of course, there was the first time I ever made top 2 in a tournament with my Rainbow Neos deck, during Edison format actually, where I made the final and lost 2-0 against X-Sabres because I bricked twice in a row. Like, that was just crap. Like, absolutely crap. And I have tried to make improvements to my decks to stop bricking, but it just still happens on occasion. Then again, I don't know what's worse, bricking or misplaying, which brings me to the next thing. Like, making a stupid misplay that costs me the game. Of course, again, I'm pretty sure everyone hates misplaying. Like I just can't help but get annoyed and upset if I make a misplay. Like, well, especially if it's like in a tournament game or an endurance, and I have made stupid mistakes in the past which have just outright cost me, and I just end up beating myself up over it. It just makes me feel like I've lost my touch and become bad at the game. And I know I really shouldn't, because, again, it's only a game and we all make mistakes because we're only human. But I just can't help but feel that way. I think the most frustrating mistake I made recently was in that tournament game I had against Endymion, where I should have used Ghost Bell to stop the restage. It has been argued that it's better to use it on Selene, but I think if I'd used it on the restage, then Weber's 5 wouldn't have been able to deck Finn, as he wouldn't have been able to bring Magician's Soul back and draw 2 cards, then search for Magician's Right Hand. If I'd have stopped the restage, it would have changed everything. Or at least I'd like to think so. I mean, I do try not to misplay, but sometimes they just slip in under the radar without detection, and it just keeps happening. I guess it does happen to the best of us, but yeah, it's just annoying. If you want more stories on stupid misplays that I've done, check out my top 10 video, top 10 worst misplays I ever made, which is on my channel. Yeah, another way I hate losing is through end of match procedure. This only applies to tournament play, of course, but I absolutely fucking hate end of match procedure. Whether it's a 4-turn rule, 5-turn rule, or deciding a winner at the end of a phase based on who has the higher life points. Either way, I think it's bullshit, and I think it's a stupid, bullshit, unfair way to decide a winner, and that's also a reason why I stopped playing in tournaments. Because almost every time my games go to time, I always fucking lose. Sometimes I've won through end of match procedure, other times it's resulted in a draw. I mean, it's not a win, but I'll take it over a loss. Then again, I think anyone would rather have a draw than a loss, but like I said, every other time I just keep fucking losing through it, and it's just bullshit. I even lost my last match against Noah because of end of match procedure. I feel like if I had more time, I could have turned things around. And then there was the tournament before that, where every match I lost was because of end of match procedure. It just pisses me off so much. I wish it wasn't a thing, you know. Now, I know it's needed to decide winners and move the tournament along. I get that, I understand that, but that doesn't mean I have to like it. What else was I going to say about it? Oh yeah, that's another thing. Like, there isn't even a proper winner or loser decided here. Like, if someone like wins for end of match procedure, it's like, okay, you won the match, but you didn't beat the opponent. You know, if that makes sense. And of course, I prefer to see matches through to the end, just to really decide who should have won. Still, not the end of match procedure matters anymore, since I'm done with local tournaments. But like I keep saying, I will still do pass formats if they ever start up, and speed duels if they ever start up again. Yeah, another way I hate losing is being done in by a cheap burn card. Whether it's through generic burn cards or something cheap and dirty like Gaius the Shadow Monarch and Lazion the Time Lord. Burn decks, regardless of whether it's generic burn, Mystic Mind burn, Nurse burn, Bad Reaction burn, or whatever, doesn't matter. Like, Storley burn decks obviously play cheap burn cards, and I think it's a cheap, dirty way of trying to beat someone. Like, where's the honour in that? Of course, Gaius and Lazion are no better. Oh yeah, and Amoeba. Yeah, I'm sorry, but the whole Amoeba creature swap combo is cheap and dirty. Yeah, that's right, I said it, and what? It's a cheap, dirty way to win. Combos like that, and using creature swap with Chaos Max and an incantation monster is why I think creature swap should be banned. Like, it's because it can create cheap, easy wins. Like, especially if it leads to an OTK. But that's just my opinion. But going back to Caius, now, it's no secret that I hate Monarchs, but Caius is one of the absolute worst ones, the other one being Riser. Like, I'd say Riser and Caius are the worst too, but Caius is used in more decks. It's been played outside of Monarchs, and Caius for game is just cheap and dirty. It's basically the newer Ring of Destruction for game. That is, if Ring had its original text. I mean, literally, just if the opponents are on a grand or less, you just tribute summon Caius, have it banish itself just to get that last cheap shot at the opponent's life points. Like again, it's just cheap and dirty. I mean, sure, you need to tribute summon it, but in a Monarch deck, getting tribute fodder is not hard at all. But even that's not as cheap as Lazion for game, which is one of the reasons why I fucking hate Time Lords as well. Like, all you've got to do is just summon Lazion and end your turn, and just let it burn out the opponent's life points. Not that I ever let that happen, of course. I'm just like, fuck this, I scoop, I'm not giving you the satisfaction. Yeah, that's all you've got to do. There's like no cost and no drawback at all. Now before I move on to the next one, I know what you're going to ask. Wait, what about Cowboy? Well, yeah, there is Cowboy, but I don't think Cowboy is as cheap, because it only does 800, and it actually requires effort and resources to go into. Alright, maybe not that much, but there's still effort and resources, compared to Caius, Lazion, and Amoeba. I'm just saying. But yeah, the other way is being decked out. Like, trying to deck someone out is no better than using cheap burn cards. I'm sorry, but trying to deck someone out really is cheap and dirty. Setting up some kind of strong board and just stalling the game out and letting the opponent deck out. Like, again, where's the honour in that? It's kind of understandable if there's literally no other way to win, but at the same time, it's just cheap and dirty. Just having the opponent not be able to really do anything and just wait to be decked out. I don't agree with that at all. But of course, like I said, the main way that I hate losing is being gamed by my own Dark Magician. It's no secret that Dark Magician is my favourite card and ace monster, and to have him turned against me and try and beat me with him is insulting. I will not tolerate that at all. I'd just scoop before the opponent has a chance to. Plus, I don't like it when my opponent plays cards that stop me from being able to play him. Which is why at first I didn't really like it when Monster Reborn came back, but then hardly anyone ever used it. It was before the September 13 list, people kept using it to steal Dark Magician, which was just annoying. This was also why I hated that Snatch Steal and Change of Heart came back. So that's another cheap, easy way to steal control away. I know Snatch Steal's banned now, but Change of Heart got unbanned last year, which I still think was a mistake. It was one of the worst changes Konami ever did. Did they learn nothing from when they unbanned Snatch Steal for a format? Yeah, you could argue that it hardly sees play, and there's too many monsters that either have targeting immunity or are unaffected, but that's irrelevant because not everyone plays monsters with targeting immunity or is unaffected by card effects. Back on topic, having my own Dark Magician turned against me is something I absolutely will not tolerate at all. I'd rather my Dark Magician was banished than turned against me. I hate it when opponents try and banish him, which I swear they do just to piss me off, but at least it's better than having my favourite card turned against me. And I'm sure other people feel the same way about their favourite monsters, signature monsters. I can't be the only one, surely. But yeah, that is it. Those are all the ways that I hate losing. Other than that, I have no issue with losing. Other than that, and yeah, are there any ways that you hate losing? If there are, do let me know in the comments. Maybe we can compare stories. Anyway, thanks for watching, stay safe, and I'll catch you guys later. See ya.